1st of March, Rabbi Furst, Mishna Berura.
That's a 5. So that's a 4. That's good. Okay. This is a 7. So this is a 7. And that's a 7. Well, this is 2, 5. That's 9. That's a nice one. That's nice. This is 1, 9. Okay. So 5. 3, 4, 7. Four, 3, 4. This is 1, 9. Oh, 1, 9. Oh, this is 4, 5, 7. One, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, I guess we can start again. Let's see.
Baruch Hashem, how are you?
Okay, fine, fine. Did you get anywhere with that, with the Malchut for the Navi?
Did you send me the numbers? I didn't get the numbers.
Yeah, I didn't get you the number.
I was going to ask you. I didn't get the numbers. I'm still getting. I have to get some more information from my son, but I haven't. You didn't give me the numbers.
I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look it up. Okay.
Okay,
Good.
no problem. Okay, so where are we holding in Mishna Berura?
Yeah, Mr. Brewer, we are Simon Tough Race Pay Tet. Stiff Dalid.
Tet. Tet $6. Got it.
Okay, I guess you can go ahead. All right.
Excuse me. Hashemay Megilla, Mimishahu Mudar Hanamimenu Yotza. So if somebody hears a Megillah reading from somebody who he has made a netter not to get benefit from, he's still Yotze.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
It's something you Dalid in the Mr. Brewer.
Yudalid?
You Dalid, yeah.
Yeah.
Yotzi.
The mitzvahs lahanosu, whose mitzvahs are not designed for benefit. Velo mikre kra hana. This is not called benefit.
Right.
Vayin la'el simin tuf kuf pei tes simin vav the shaykh le inyanenu, which is relevant to our Inyan.
Our topic.
Our topic.
So that's that are not from a chauffeur. So there's similar halachas there that are discussed. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Let's go to Sif Hay back in the Shulchan Aruch.
Okay. Hamakam she'ein minyan, in a place where there is no minyan. Im echad yodea v'acherim enam yodeim. If one person, I guess, knows how to read, and the others don't know how to read, echad poter es kulam. Then he reads and he paters everybody else. V'im kulam they all know how to read. Kol echad korei la'atzmo. Okay, so this is if you have a group that is less than 10,
Right.
and only one person in that group knows how to read, then he can pater the whole group when he reads for them.
Right. Very good. Okay.
Okay. Mishna Berura, la'atzmo. De'ein hayachid motzi chaveru el basara. Because one person cannot be motzi others except when there's a group of 10. Lo dami de shofar, and it's not similar to shofar. The Kriya Megillah Harikla to be Inyan Asara Dafka, because Kriya Megillah is similar to davening and it requires 10 people exactly. V'hinei HaPri Chadash Katsav, and the Pri Chadash writes here, to call Zehu Rak L'Inyan L'Chatchila. This is only L'Chatchila in the preferable state. About the Dieved, Im Niskaven L'Pater Chavero. But post facto, if somebody has the intention to be fulfill the obligation for his friend, you're doing. Then he's Yotze even if all the people know how to read. Okay. You have Magen Avram Mitzaded Ode, and the Magen Avram brings another interpretation. The Chila. And even originally, Adif Sheikra Echad L'Kulon, it's better for one person to read for everybody, Mishum Rovam Chadras Melech, because of the general principle of in a large group there is honor, glorifies
Right.
Hashem.
Even though you don't have a minion,
therefore,
even though the minion doesn't exist, but it's still more of an Indian of Rav Chadras Melech because of the group listening to one person.
Amnam be'Eli Rabba be'Mati Yehuda daitam Hashulchan Aruch to call Echad Yikra. However, the Eliyah Rabbah and the Mati Yehuda, their das is for their opinion. The Shulchan Aruch is that every person Yikra allowed to reach for himself. V'kein itat derech hachayim. That's also the case of derech hachayim.
Right.
Okay. Vav minhag tov lahavi kitanos lishmoa mikra Megilla, and it is a good practice to bring young children, both boys and girls, to hear the reading of Megillah. Is this more than just the stam chinuch issues of bringing them?
Oh, so the Mishna was going to go into details, meaning you're learning that this is an extra added obligation, meaning avir katanim, the katanos, meaning it's mashma from the machaber that's even before the gil chinuch. I mean, if they reach
Okay.
chinuch, right, then it's obvious you have to bring them for chinuch. So it's apparent, even if they're before the age of chinuch. So we'll see the Mishnah Berura. Let's see how he approaches it.
Okay. Excuse me. Tesai minhag tov lahavi v'chulu. Kedei lahanchem b'mitzvahs persuminisa, to get them accustomed to the mitzvah of publicizing the miracle. U'v'tam zeh noagim hakal likro elu pesukim b'kol ram, and because of this, that the minhag is to read the following pesukim in a loud voice. Come on, b'sim Tafrei Tzaddik, Sif Yud Zayin. Shehem Iker Hazchilas Hanes B'Sofo V'Hem. This is the beginning of the miracle and the end. These pasuk are Ish Yehudi, Mordechai Yatza, La Yehudim, Ki Mordechai, and the Ki Mordechai. You read at the end. Today Laora Haktanim Shlo Yeshana. You should arouse the children so they don't sleep. V'Yitnu Lahem. V'yitnu libam al hakriya, and they should pay attention to the reading. Umakrin osom hapsukim kedei alhanchem, and we read these pesukim in order to teach those children. That's from the Lavush. Katan katanos, young children. Vad shelo yavi katanim bioter. If you don't bring them too young, she mebalbolin. Dash Shomein, because they're too young and they're going to make too much noise and they're going to disturb the people who are trying to listen.
Right.
Okay, that's Mogen Ram Shulchan Aruch. Lishmar, to hear. The Akshav Bevanosin, and now in our poverty, Harabim Nahafachu. I guess the positions have changed.
Yes.
Shelvad She'enam Shonim. That they don't listen or they don't hear. Elahim Abalbulin Shigam Hagadolim Enam Yacholum Lishmoa. So the adults even make noise so that the other people aren't able to hear.
I think that children, meaning it's aside from the fact, Milvad, aside from the fact that the children aren't listening, Elohim, but they're rather even disturbing the people, the adults that can't hear.
Okay.
Want to listen.
V'kol be'itam hu rak lahakos es Haman.
The whole reason
And they all
is to bang.
they only come. All they do is come to clap against Haman's name. Uvezeh ein mitzvahs haguf klal, and the father doesn't fulfill his obligation at all. Ve'emes mitzad mitzvahs haguf tzarich kol av lahachzik banav haktanim etzlo, and in truth, because the mitzvahs, the obligation on the father has to close to him.
Right. He has to make sure that the children they're small.
and behaving. Ulahasgiach Alehem
Supervising.
Yishmo Hakriya, that and to impress upon them that they have to listen to the reading. Yagia Hakari Lezocher Shem Haman Hagi Roshaya Katan Akos Kmin Hagaso. And when the Balkuri comes to say Haman Hagagi, then it is the children have permission to bang as about lo sheyeh ze ikar haba hakatan lebeis haknes medrash. But that should not be the ikar reason that the children are coming to the base medrash just to clap Haman's name.
Right.
Now, when he says Lizkor Shem Haman Hagagi, is he only talking about the cases where it's Haman, where the Megilla says Haman Hagagi, we should be clapping, or anytime we just see Haman's name?
Well, the minig happens to be that every time they hear the name Haman, and they clap. Right? Well, you're making a good point. It seems to be right when it seems to be Shigia Akor Lizkor Shem Haman Hagagi, then they're permitted. It seems that it's only in that particular case.
I mean, it does happen it does say Haman Hagagi many times, but it's certainly not all the times.
I'll tell you what, let me try and find out. Hold on a second. Let's see. One second. One second. Well, I'll tell you what, the only time I found in the Esther, Haman Hagagi is only mentioned one time.
Really?
Yeah, that's according to, I'll double check. I'll do another check.
Oh, it's Haman. It says Haman ben Amdasa Hagagi.
Ah,
It does say that also. So maybe we're only supposed to clap one time. Maybe we're only supposed to clap one time.
Yeah. That's even if that's the mashmos of the Mishnah Berura, that's certainly not the minig over here.
Certainly not the midig. Certainly not the midig.
Not the minig. Okay. Take a look. There's a Bir Halacha goes into this Indian a little bit more in detail. The minig tov la'aviyah. See that in Bir Halacha?
Yep. Minig tov lahevi. It's good. It is a proper minig to bring the children. Hine bavadai kavanas ha'machaber hu dafka el al katanim shegu lechinuch. But it's the kavanah of the machaber is specifically talking about children who are old enough to learn. Because children who are too young are going to just make noise and disturb everybody. Commercial Kosav, the Magen Avraham writes, V'im ba mi shayach minhag tov, v'im kain. If that's the case, why does he mean it's a good minute to bring the children? Hello, Medino Mechayev Lahaknis Bekriyas Megilla, or I'll call Padim Bishmias the canal. He has why is he saying it's a minute? Because he has a din to bring them, because they're Higil Chinuch, so he has a din to bring them. Or is this just for the the listening itself. V'lai the bezeh haya yotze im haya kore lifnehem b'vatehem. Because maybe he could, and perhaps he could satisfy the mitzvah for them listening by reading for them in their house. They didn't necessarily have to go to the shul to hear it. About kadei parnes nisan biyoter. But in order to really publicize the nace, minig la'avayim bebeis medrash, then the minig is to bring them to shul, she yishmo b'tzibur. There's a listen with the tzibur, kadei lahaknes shegam b'gedolim yishmu b'tzibur. To teach them that also the adults have to listen in the shul.
Right. Those are extra added reasons why you want to bring your children to the shul, to the davening for Kriyas Megillah.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. Let's go on to race study, tough race study.
We have one more Mishnah Berurah to do.
Right,
Good
thank you.
test.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, Mikra Megillah, reading the Megillah. The Akshav, Roy L'Chol Echad Sheyeh Lo Megillah Kisheret. And now it's fitting that everybody who has a kosher Megillah, Likro, B'lachash, Mila B'mila, should silently read word by word, or quietly read word by word. The Efshel Yishma Melachas Machas Shliach Sivar, because it's impossible to hear from the Shliach Sivar. So he's saying that because there's so much noise, that each person should have a kosher Megillah should read to themselves, because they can't always hear the Shliach Sivar reading. Machmas Rosh Ubabal Bel Shemakim Be'etzim Mashmiim Kol. That because of all the noise that's going on in the shul. V'roy L'chol Yisrael Noakein, it's proper that everybody should be practice this minhag. Ki Kain May Sheha Hayacholas Biyado, if they have the ability, or if it's possible. The ayin lekaman b'simin tafresh tzadik sif dalet.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna,
To some extent, it's getting a little bit better, but still, sometimes you find yourself in a minion that's kind of wild, if you know what I mean.
yep. But usually when you go to the morning readings, it's much better.
Yeah, especially if it's happening early.
Yep.
So, but it's advisable. Don't be embarrassed to push yourself up and get as close to the reader as possible. You know,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
if you're far away, it doesn't pay to be shy and not get close to the reader.
Yep.
Okay,
But we're fortunate to have a reader who is very loud, but
very good.
it does help.
Is there any discussion about the basis of making noise about Haman's name? Is it a mitzvah? Is it a custom? Why do we do
Yeah.
it?
It's definitely. We'll get to it. It's going to be. Let's see. Where is it? One second. Oh. Hold on. I'm just looking to see if I can find it for you. 1 minute. Let's see. That's okay. Take a look in Tough Race Sadi, that's where we are going to be going now. Where would that be? Hold on. Yeah, take a look in the, yeah, in Tough Race Sadi, Sif Yud Zion. Sif Yud Zion is in the Ramah.
Yud Zion.
See the Ramah there? And Sif Yud Zion, it says in the middle of the Ramah, Od Kasim Shenogu Hatinoikus Litzur Tros Haman. Have it there?
Yud Zion, the Ramah. I have the Yesh HaKasvu.
Yeah, 3 lines later. Keep going down about 3
Yeah,
lines.
a little bit later.
Od Kosvu.
The Ode Kasvu. I see it.
Yeah, Eliezer, you want to read it for him?
Od Kosvu, they also write, Shanagu Hatinokos Litzur Tsuras Haman al Etzim Va'avanim, that they clap on Haman's name with stones and sticks, or sticks and stones. Olichov Shem Haman Alehem V'hakosam Zal Zeh Kadei Yamacha Shemo, where they put his name, they write his name on their shoes and they stamp on the ground, or they clap their hands in order to erase Haman's name. Al derech Yimacho Amocha es Zecher Malek. Just like we have to erase the memory of a Malek.
Right.
Uvisham Rishoyim Yukarov. Umizeh Nishtarkov Haminag Shemakin Haman Vishikorim Megilla, Bavesa Knesset. And that's where we get the minhag to clap on Haman's name when they're reading the base medrash. Ein Levatel Shum Minhag Olidog Alav. We're not going to be matal this minhag or to worry about it. Kilo Hinam Hukvu Hukbu. Don't understand what's the end of the Haggah.
Aminag Shemakim Haman Kishikorim a Megilla, the base Knesset. Right? Ve'ein the batal shuminig olalogalav kilo lechinam kavod, because it was not for no reason, it was established. Kavod from kavor. The word kavor.
Okay.
It wasn't established for no reason.
What is Lil Og?
What?
To mock it.
Lil Og.
To mock, to not take seriously.
Right, to score and to mock.
So it's a custom.
That was definitely a custom.
But you're not to mevatel it, and you're not to make fun of it. Because it was, if the Jews have a custom, there's a good reason for it.
Now it says hatinokot. Is it saying that it's the children that are supposed to do it?
Yeah.
They get the most, they have the most fun doing it.
That's right.
So why did the adults do it also?
Because we're all children at heart anyway.
Exactly. Everybody enjoys the fact that they don't have to maintain decorum while they're being clapping Haman.
Right.
And
they can go a little wild, and and normally they wouldn't do those things, but you don't see what Parsha Zachor. You don't see that we're supposed to stamp and clap or, do, do those things when you read Parsha Zachor, right?
Right? Why not? Isn't that the same thing?
But there was never a minhag. That's the whole point. The minhag never developed. If a minhag developed around that, we would probably do it. But the minhag develops by the name of Haman, by the Megillah.
And what is this phrase, Latsur Tsuras Haman?
So the children would draw pictures, sword tzaras, to draw pictures of Haman,
On the bottom of their shoes, on the soles of their shoes,
right?
stomp their feet on the ground.
Right, and it's also make it on wood and stones, and we bang them together.
Okay, so this is just explaining the different ways that they
Yep.
are doing it.
Right.
But it must have started very early because it became very wide. It's obviously universal, so it must have a very, very early genesis.
Yeah. Well. It's from the 1 second. And we'll see. We actually, to tell you the truth, we have a few minutes. Take a look in the Mishna Berura and Sifkat Nun Tet.
Nun Tet. That's not in 6, right? Correct?
That's over there in Tafrei Sadi. That's where we were just reading the remark.
Right. Oh, Nun Tet. You're looking at the parentheses.
In the Mishna Berura, it's just in Mishna Berura.
Shemakim Haman, when they
Okay.
hit at the sounding of the name of Haman.
Okay, I see Nun. I see Nun Tet. Shemakim Haman, right?
Yep.
Right.
Okay, I see it.
Hamaharil lo haya choshesh lahakos Haman, v'agon Yavitz kosev alaviv hachacham tzvi shahoya maka v'rokea v'raglov v'tochech sandalo kashehuga shegia lizkiros Haman. But prima godim kosav the yotza shocharam behefsedam she mevalbalin harbe.
Right.
So we have the Maharil was not concerned about it.
Right. Yeah, he was close. He was low cautious. He wasn't concerned about. He didn't do this minhag so much.
Okay.
He didn't what to it?
He didn't
Wasn't
perform it.
concerned to do it. He wasn't so concerned of fulfilling this minhag.
So
And-
Hakos Haman means to yell about him.
Well, to bang on Haman.
Right. Oh, like Makkah?
Yep. The Ivis writes the name of his father, that they would bang and dance on their feet, and on their sandals when they would get to Haman's name. And the Pri Megadim writes that their gain is their loss because of the mabal. There's a lot of mabal in the shul at that point.
A lot of what?
About noise, it's just a lot of disturbance.
Right. They lose out because it gets too wild.
And what is the word vitofeach?
Tefeg means to like tap.
Tap?
Yep.
To tap their feet, their shoes?
Yep.
Right.
Stomp on the floor.
look at the Berura. You have the Berura, ein levatel shum minhag, not to do away with any minhag.
I Mogan of Ram, Sharich Bezeg. Look at the Mogan of Ram who's goes on length about this. V'hine ma shekosav da'afilu yesh minhag tzad isur ein levatlo. Even if there's an isur in the middle, we're not mevatel it. Kamo
Right.
shekosav hamarik.
But even if the minhag is usser, we still do it?
Right, even if the minhag has some type of an element of isser in it.
Really?
Yep.
I don't get that. If it's usser,
No,
how can
not
it
that the
override?
minhag itself is usher, but the minhag forbids you to do something.
What?
The minhag forbids you to do something. Not, something that would normally be permitted, and even if the minhag says don't do it, we're not mevatel the minhag.
If the minhag says don't do something that's usser?
No. The minhag says don't do something that's mutter. It assers something that's mutter.
Oh. It ussers something that's mutter. It says don't do something that you're allowed to do.
Right, and even a minhag like that, we're not mevatel. Because you might think if it's mutter to do, we should allow you to do it.
So
What is
is
it?
this contradicting what we just read about the Maharal?
Why?
But it says he's not concerned about banging Haman because it creates a confusion in the shul.
That was not the Maharal's reason. About the Maharal was just not, he wasn't a minhag he followed. He didn't practice it. It's a minhag, not everybody practices it. It's not halacha.
Right.
So is that mevateling it or that's not, what does it mean?
Mevatel it is to say nobody can do it.
That's right. Exactly. That if one person wouldn't do it, is not the mevatel and minhag.
Okay. So have we read anything that tells us why we do it?
Timche Zecher Amalek. You're supposed to stamp out the remembrance of Amalek.
Okay. That's the reason?
Yep.
And the fact that we don't do it for Parshas Zachar, but we do it here is just a coincidence?
No, not a coincidence. That they never developed the minhag. It was never established the minhag to do it on Parshas Zachar. Here we have a demonstration of the actual destruction of Amalek through the killing of Haman, and part of our celebration on Purim is to also be actively involved with that. Okay, and that brings, I think, about to the end of our time.
Okay, very good.
Mitzvah Hashem, we hope to see you all tomorrow, and you should have a very good day, Mitzvah Hashem.
Okay, you too.
Very good. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Lou. Be well.
Okay, thank you, Rabbi.